Good morning and welcome back to the channel. So I've just recently returned from a visit to Prague, actually last night, the 30th of December 2024. I had a quick breakaway with the wife in between Christmas and New Year, which was brilliant. But whilst I was there, dropped across this little pedal car museum, which I thought, oh, I'll have a look at that. It was really interesting from the outside. A little metal car outside in maroon, and there's a little child playing on a pedal car. I thought, oh, it'd be worth having a look in here, see if there's anything of any interest. So as I entered the place, it was very, very warm, but it was really good. Looking to my right, there was a room to the right with some pedal cars. Room to the left, looked up in front of me. Up the staircase, there was pedal cars, and then apparently as you go up to the top, which you'll see in the video, or the pictures I took, to the right and the left, there's two different rooms with other pedal cars. Apparently this is the largest pedal car museum in the world, and a lot of them were metal. There's some plastic ones, some really good condition ones, some used and some battered, and there was one which was rusty and had a couple of replicas made, which was fantastic. So it was a really good place to visit. So I thought, well, we'll have a look in here. It was 250 krona, Czech krona, which is about £8.16, something like that, just depending on the conversion rate at the time. The reception lady was very good, a bit broken English, but far better than my Czechoslovakian, which is zero, and she explained the different eras of the cars and what they were, and very good, and asked me how I found about the museum, and I said I just stumbled across it when I was on the road. So it's a bit of a hidden gem, really. You can see it from the river. It says Pedal Car Museum, but it's not really out there, so it's definitely worth a visit if you're into cars while you're in Prague. The other thing was they do a car hire service for classics, and they say the classics, but they look like a bit of a kit car extended Beaufort type vehicle. Some had Mercedes wheels on, some had Ford wheels on. Couldn't work out what they were, but one thing I did spot was a beautiful early Skoda convertible 1960s in red, which you'll see at the end of the video, and also a VW camper split screen, which I don't think was part of the hire. I think it was just a local out in this car. It was nice. It had windows in the roof. I'm not sure it was a safari type or not, but it sounded beautiful. Smelled a bit rich, petrol-y, but it looked really well. And around the cobble streets, it was going quite slow. I think it might have, with the old cars, probably destroys them a little bit. Anyway, let's move on and let's get onto the museum where we went. But like I say, it's definitely worth a visit if you're ever visiting Prague in the future. So as we arrive at the Pedal Car Museum, this is what you're greeted with, and it looks almost like an old garage shed, absolutely immaculate maintained, and really inviting. And a lot of information on the outside walls, as you can see, and just to the left of the image there was this little red pedal car which you could get in and have a look around. As you can see, this is the lovely little maroon car just outside the entrance, which is great to look at, all metal, and I think you could get in and have a look if you wanted. As you enter, on the right hand side, there's this cream looking old vehicle with red wings on it, a black roof. You can actually get in this and have your photograph took. A bit difficult for myself because I was on my own. So the next vehicle we come across is this little homemade Auto Prague from 1934. As you can see, it's quite battered, but it's a pedal car, and that's the most important thing. Just in the main entrance, there were these pedal cars hung up on the wall and set on the top of the framework, as you can see. Next along the line was a trike with a horse on the front of it, which is a bit odd because it's a pedal car museum, but it is a pedal car, I suppose. Then we moved down into the 20s to the 70s section, which had a couple of Bugatti replicas, race cars, and a few other little things. Studebaker, as you can see there, just in the green. And then moving along, they had a couple of other old cars, a Model Ford T, and I'm not sure what the other one was. There was no label next to it. Next to that, there was a Mercedes 190, which was actually a plastic-based vehicle. Moving on, then we're into the classic racing cars. These are the ones I sort of remember from being a child. All different types of vehicles here, from the 50s and 60s and earlier, from the historic racing. It was really good, and they were all in great condition. They had also a few sort of Lego model type people there, just to show you the size that they actually were. Next vehicle we came across was an Audi Auto Union Type C, number 100 from a limited series of 99 pieces built in 2007 in Germany. Absolutely fantastic, and it was really, really nice. It would have been a great pedal car if you were a kid. It'd have been absolutely made up, but I'm sure it would be worth a lot of money. Probably that's why it's stuck in a glass case so no one can touch it. Just again opposite the Audi was the other racing cars of the 1920s. Before moving up the staircase, we come across this lovely Model T Ford just wedged on the wooden work. Hopefully it was screwed down so it didn't fall off. Following that, there was a little motorbike, Indian Scout, absolutely fantastic. Not sure how it works as a pedal car. It must have been more like a push bike, I would think, but really, really nice and well presented. Then the old T-Bird, which I've seen a few times on these American classic car shows from the 1960s, all metal, looked all original and really, really good condition. Apart from a few war wounds, which was nice to see. We now moved to the British section, and in this section there was a plastic Mini, E-Type Jaguar Morgan, Triumph, and the old J4 pedal car. Following on from that, there was a couple of Rolls Royces. They were both plastic as well, which I didn't even know they made. I know we oversee the J40 pedal cars, particularly around the classic car scene, but never any of the others, so that was really good to see as well. So our next section in the museum was the German section. So we had quite a few Mercedes and BMW, Porsches. Again, some of these were plastic and some of these were steel, but they were all in really, really good condition. Quickly moving on to a Porsche 356. This is another vehicle which was metal and you could get in and have your photograph took if you wished. Again, I couldn't because I was on my own. Moving on, we were on to the European section, which had some FSOs and Fiats and Skodas. They were probably more Czechoslovakian than anything else. And then moving further down the line, there was some other Czechoslovakian cars, all quite small but really good condition. And it was lovely to see the different makes and models. Some of them were plastic, a lot of them were steel. Really, really good. We then move on to two Gordini Grand Prix Italian 1950s cars, one in blue, one in green with white wings, and they were absolutely immaculate and beautiful to see. Our next section was a couple of stuff just hang above the entrance of an aeroplane, and then we come to the Citroen section, had the DS there and a couple of the Citroens, 2CV with no roof, and very early 1920s Citroen, and some sort of scooter as well, which was also good. These were in really good condition, particularly the Citroen DS. We moved on then to the Fiat section. There's some little 600s and Alfa Romeos, and then we moved to another section with the Fiats, and there was another Fiat 2000 there. There's some really good stuff, some Italian scooters, and a little arcade game which was really, really good to look at. Next to that, we're into the Gentleman's Cave, which was on the ground floor. These were proper 1920s race cars, and some of them were really, really good condition. A lot of them were rusty, needed a bit of work, but I suppose it's the historic history of them that's been kept rather than having immaculate vehicles. There's some hung up on the walls, which was great to see, all different sizes, let's say in all different conditions, and it was really good, the different colours to see as well. Just above there is a picture of one which was completely wrecked, and then they've rebuilt a replica below it, and this was from the 1920s, I think. It must have been found corroded and they've done a replica. There was another one in just below the television there, which is another original one, but looked like that had been restored as well, or was in the process of being restored. In the same room just further along, there's a couple other vehicles just hung up on the wall, really old stuff. Not sure what they were, probably Italian or whatever they were made, but they were in really, really good condition. Some were a bit rusty, but it was good to see in all, and such a different variety and the choice you had, which you wouldn't have thought in the 20s and 30s and 40s. But obviously been a lot of money around there with the rich aristocrats for their children, purchased all the pedal cars there was. Finally, there was a couple of ones with exhaust down the side like the proper racers from the day, and they were really good to see, a red one and a blue one. Pretty good, Brooklands racers. But anyway, there you go, that's it for now. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'm just going to post a few photos of the classics I saw when I was around the town there, and
wish you all a happy new year. This is the last video of 2024. Some may think, thank God for that. Others will hopefully won't. But looking forward to trying to get some more content for the new year. Got a few jobs to do on a couple of the cars. Change the wheel hatch on the Fiesta for some better ones. A little bit of paint work where somebody tinted a door for me. And a bit of work on the Red Sport, which I'm going to put the twin carbs on, or the 40s, which I'll do a video on separately. Anyway, like I say, all the best for New Year, and see all of you next year. Many thanks.